climate change, racism, inequality, and gun control. It is called ESG. How does it work? And how will it change our lives? Are we bending Wall Street to our will, or are we the ones who will be manipulated?
The company is recalling the 2019 through 2022 ascents after getting reports of 2 fires. There were no reports of injuries, though. The company says a bolt that holds the ground terminal of a heater may not have been fastened properly during assembly. That can cause the terminal and surrounding parts to melt, making the game highly addictive. A judge authorized the lawsuit. Epic Games lawyers argue that video game dependence is not recognized as a condition in Quebec. Meanwhile, the judge pointed out that the World Health Organization classifies video game addiction as gaming disorder. Electric vehicle maker Rivian is pausing its planned partnership with Mercedes-Benz to produce electric vans in Europe. Rivian said the delay will allow it to focus on its existing commercial and consumer business. The companies had been looking to produce 2 large vans. Mercedes-Benz Vans said it will move forward with its own electrification strategy and ramp up production. About 2 years ago, Amazon announced it would buy nearly 2,000 electric delivery vans from Mercedes-Benz. Amazon also ordered 100,000 delivery vans from Rivian. The e-commerce giant took a 20% stake in Rivian in 2019. Amazon said that in September, some vans were already on the road making deliveries. Thousands are expected to be running in major U.S. cities by the end of the year. The European Union has enough gas for this winter, apparently, but it could face a shortage next year if Russia cuts supplies further. Here's the EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen earlier today.
We are safe for this winter. Despite the action that we have taken, we might still face a gap of up to 30 billion cubic meter of gas next year. The actions that we have set in motion will help cover part of this, but more is needed.
The European Union has tried to reduce reliance on Russian energy since Moscow launched what it calls a special military operation in Ukraine. Europe's avoided a severe shortage and started the winter with brimming gas. That's thanks in part to emergency storage measures and a mild winter. High gas prices have also dampened demand for fuel. Von der Leyen said Europe needs to start preparing for next winter now.
I don't think he's a typical politician at all. I think that's why we need to be secure. I love America, and I think that he does too.
I cannot forgive him.
Oh, he said something wrong and hurt somebody's feelings.
Well, let's get real here.
One world government.
But they won't be able to stop the movement. You know, this is we got to get ready to protect our heroes. And I don't get into people get into some people are already criticizing Ron DeSantis because he might be the only backup we have. You know, that Ron DeSantis is somehow betraying Trump by looking at standing for president. Look, we need everybody on our side now. Trump, I love Trump, but he might not make it. They will do everything to stop him. We got to have more than one string to our bow here. And so,
yes, but he can be indicted and continue to run. A lot of people. It's going to make it more. Well, it's going to make it more difficult. True, but he knows what he's up against, and he went ahead and he announced. And frankly, I don't think Ron DeSantis is going to jump in. But to your point, is there a backup? Yes, it would be Ron. He's highly, highly popular, and he thinks like you do and like President Trump does.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to jump in either. But there's already a little bit of a thing going on the GOP about this. Look, I want Trump to get in there. I want him to win, but don't have any illusions about what they're going to throw at them. This is the time Americans are going to have more courage. And, if we thought the last few years were tough, you just wait. There is light at the end of the tunnel, but it's going to get darker before it gets lighter. Just like Britain in World War II, it got really, really, really dark. before it started to get light. We haven't seen what could be coming.
In other words, you're saying we haven't hit rock bottom yet, but when we do,
we're not even
we'll
close.
get it. We'll get it.
We're not even close. But this is why I'm saying, people say loud and give us some hope. Give us some hope. Some of my talks can be pretty tough. And I say, when we face reality, then we can start talking about hope. We're still living in la la land. 80% of America still doesn't understand we're in a communist revolution. They don't understand that the LGBTQ movement is a communist movement. The shutdown pipelines movement is a communist movement. Hollywood is controlled by communists. We're in a revolution, and it ain't going to stop until we throw it off. There is no hope until we face reality. But this is the thing. We need providence to get out of this. But providence comes through facing reality, because that proves to God that you have faith, that you have so much faith, you're willing to face reality no matter how harsh it looks, because you can see past it.
Down and backwards. Before we run out of time, please elaborate on this as one more example to what you're getting at with the helicopter view. And more and more people are willing to go to prison to make their point.
Look, Catherine identified, she found a whole bunch of organizations who were using Black Lives Matter activists to stuff ballots, but she didn't name the organizations. I myself discovered a whole network of organizations that were working with the Chinese consulate in San Francisco to do mass voting registration drives in 7 key states in the inner cities. I looked at her list, she looked at my list, there was a lot of overlap. We found the same organizations coming from different angles. The Chinese helped to steal the election with computer fraud, old-fashioned ballot stuffing. They've got all these networks in many key states run by pro-Chinese communists. They do big voter registration, big get out the vote. It's happening right under our noses, Chinese interference in our elections. So I am a huge fan of Catherine Engelbrecht. I've followed her work for more than 10 years. She is a real patriot. And everybody who can should support her organization, because if we don't sort out election fraud, we can kiss goodbye to this country. And the Republican Party needs to understand that, because even if they pretend to tell us that it's all fixed, 10% of our base will stop voting because they don't believe in the integrity of machines or elections. And if they think we can afford to lose 10% of our base going forward, they are wildly optimistic.